Dom and Davia. I'm so deeply sorry.
Mackenzie Shirilla for this accident.
One day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose.
In late July 2022, the city of Strongsville, Ohio, was shocked to find that a young girl, Mackenzie Shirilla, had deliberately driven into a brick wall with her boyfriend and his companion in the vehicle, killing them both. Mackenzie survived the horrific accident. The city was taken aback. What made the incident even more upsetting was that Mackenzie had previously released a video to her TikTok account in which she bragged about using drugs and claimed to be immortal. Who exactly is Mackenzie Shirilla? Mackenzie Shirilla, a 19-year-old girl from Strongsville, Ohio, was previously involved with Dominic Russo, also from the region. She was a regular neighborhood girl until she killed her lover and his buddy one day.
Morning of the accident, she called. I got a phone call that there was a car accident. Okay, so we went to the hospital, and I didn't even know who was in the car.
Mackenzie was diagnosed with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. According to her mother, Natalie Shirilla, if a person's salt and water levels are very low, he or she may pass out. She tried but failed to persuade the court that this was the cause of the disaster. Mackenzie, her lover Dominic, and his buddy Davian Flanagan on a fatal vehicle journey in the early hours of July 31, 2022, which resulted in Dominic and Davian's deaths. She slammed her vehicle into a brick structure at 100 miles per hour, killing Dominic and Davian. Mackenzie made it through this. The three reportedly used marijuana before to the deaths, and Mackenzie allegedly had enough THC, the major psychoactive element in the substance, in her system to put her above the legal limit in Ohio. Detectives stated that at the site, hallucinogenic mushrooms and a scale were discovered near Shirilla's corpse. According to Dominic's acquaintances, the connection between Mackenzie and Dominic was poisonous. They testified that they had seen and heard the couple argue in the past, and that Mackenzie had threatened Dominic.
I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die.
The Daily Mail received a distressing video from Mackenzie's TikTok account in which he boasted about using narcotics. "I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die," Shirilla says in the video. It's unclear if this was shot before or after the incident. Shirilla's TikTok profile has been made private. Mackenzie Shirilla was found guilty of various offenses in an Ohio court, including murder, felonious assault, and aggravated vehicular homicide. The crash killed her lover, Dominic Russo, and Russo's buddy, Davian Flanagan. Prosecutors have not corroborated the purported motivation for the two men's deaths. The magistrate presiding over the case, Judge Nancy Margaret Russo,
"Whether it's a bench trial or a jury trial, the rules of law are the same,"
said that Shirilla's acceleration demonstrated that she purposefully wrecked the automobile. Prosecutors also said that even though the automobile was fast, it looked to be under control. "She had a mission, and she executed it with precision," remarked Judge Russo. "The choice was death. She goes from being a responsible driver to being a true devil on wheels." A passerby saw the accident location approximately 6:15 a.m. As they got closer, they saw Shirilla was gravely hurt, and both male victims had perished. Shirilla got stuck in the rubble, according to reports, and the fire department's first responders were able to rescue her. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley said that he thought the murder convictions were appropriate. O'Malley went on to say, "When you drive for 4 or 5 seconds with the pedal all the way down until you hit 100 miles per hour into a building, we felt the charge was appropriate." According to UPI, because of the teen's level of culpability, authorities sought murder charges rather than manslaughter and driving under the influence. Shirilla's defense team, on the other hand, argued that even if the convicted killer's acts were inadvertent, the expression of guilt could only be deemed a natural result of being engaged in the fatalities. Shirilla was characterized by the court as literal hell on wheels, and prosecutors observed that in the months after the deadly incident, Shirilla said she was the one you die for on TikTok.
"She sends down count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life."
However, at her sentence last week, The 19-year-old cried as she addressed the victims' families.
I'm Dom and Davia. I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose.
Claiming she had no knowledge of what transpired in the seconds before the disaster. Shirilla and Russo, according to prosecutors, had a poisonous relationship. Shirilla threatened to wreck her vehicle while traveling with Russo 2 weeks before he and Flanagan were slain, according to evidence presented during the trial. Prosecutors attempted to paint Shirilla as a reckless, selfish lover who planned to kill Russo because their relationship was ending. According to NBC, the evidence produced in court included a video of Shirilla threatening to key Russo's vehicle after an altercation. However, Shirilla seems to have put remarks on Russo's obituary in which she expressed her hope that she could hug him one last time. "You are the love of my life. You will always be with me, and I will always think about you," Shirilla said in a message a week after Russo died. According to testimony submitted in court by prosecutors, Shirilla allegedly asked police in the immediate aftermath of the catastrophe whether they could just take my license away for 10 years or something like that. Shirilla also applied to a modeling agency in Los Angeles while she was still in the hospital healing from her injuries. She was apparently observed attending a concert and a Halloween party in the months that followed before she was charged criminally. Shirilla's mother said before her daughter's sentence that she urged Shirilla to have a second of fun on Halloween after losing her whole world. According to her mother, Shirilla attended a performance with Russo's cousin and others. Shirilla was condemned to life in jail with the possibility of release on Monday, 21 August, after a 4-day non-jury trial. Russo's mother spoke openly about her son's death in her victim impact statement. "Mackenzie, if you're going to prison because you did this, be thankful that you're still alive and have a future, whatever that may be," Christine Russo told the court, according to NBC News. Dom and Davian's futures, hopes, and dreams were taken from them. Mackenzie has no compassion for Dominic or Davian. Only God can have pity on her soul at this time. Shirilla's mother requested mercy from the court, alleging that her daughter had no memory of the crash. Judge Russo, on the other hand, said that the footage of the incident was critical in obtaining Shirilla's conviction because it demonstrated how she morphed from responsible driver to literal hell on wheels.
I missed Dom so much. We loved him so much.
"He was really special to us. She would never murder the love of her life," Natalie Shirilla said, adding that her daughter had received death threats after her detention. She would only wear his clothes for 3 months after the accident. She simply ate the snacks he ate. She simply listened to the songs he composed. Shirilla, who was obviously disturbed seconds before her punishment, addressed the court as well. "I'm very sorry. I hope you can see one day that I would never let this happen or do it on purpose," she read, wiping away tears. "I sincerely apologize to Dominic and Davian's families. I hope you realize one day that I would never allow this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could recall what happened. Dom was my soul partner, and we were all pals. I wish I could take away all of your suffering. And to my family, thank you for all of your love and support. I adore all of you." After completing 15 years in jail, Shirilla will be eligible for release.